This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by Peninsula Regional Medical Center.
Well, flu season is in full swing, and that has many of us reaching for the antibacterial soap to make sure we don't pick up that nasty bug. But should you be reaching for the good old-fashioned soap and water instead?
The Food and Drug Administration announced that some antibacterial products may be doing more harm than good. As a matter of fact, the FDA is pushing manufacturers to show proof their products are safe and effective. The government proposal targets soaps and body washes that contain Triclosan. Triclosan is used in about 75% of liquid antibacterial soaps. The FDA says overuse of the antibacterial soaps caused hormonal problems in animal lab tests.
But Triclosan is not only found in soap, it's also used in shampoos, deodorants, toothpastes, and mouthwashes. So, should we be changing our hygiene habits? Well, here to help us sort it all out is Dr. Chris Snyder, Chief Medical Informatic Officer and Hospitalist at Peninsula Regional Medical Center. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. So let's start off by this whole study with the FDA. I mean, what do you think about the Triclosan?
I think it's a recommendation. There was a study back in 2007 that actually looked at these products. The recommendation at the time was that we need to do further studies. So a lot of these studies have been animal-based, so we haven't used this studies on humans. So I think it's important that everybody realize this is a hypothesis, so it's an educated statement from the FDA concerning something that obviously everybody touches, and it's interesting to see how the manufacturers are pulling this stuff out of their products too, so which is a typical response to FDA.
Right.
Okay, so Triclosan, do we really need it to get our hands clean?
No. No, you know, the goal here is to get your hands clean, right? Everybody has bacteria living on them. It's a normal part of it's called your human flora, where your skin actually is protected. The skin's the largest organ in the body.
Right.
It has to have a protection from the environment. It's waterproof, if you haven't noticed yet.
Okay.
So it does have that impact to protect you. So normal bacteria is normal. We got to be careful how much of that we remove, and that may be some of the processes the FDA is concerned with, is if we kill all the bacteria, maybe we're taking away that protective mechanism. So I think that, yes, we do need to clean, because an overgrowth of bacteria is where you get the, quote, dirty problem and the infections. And then when you break the human element of the skin, a cut, for example, it gets infected because you've taken away that protective element.
Right.
So it is important to get the bacteria off to a certain level, I think.
But bacteria-free doesn't necessarily mean healthy.
Absolutely.
All right. So
Yeah.
what about, you know, I've heard that antibacterial products are bad and that they might actually create a superbug. Is that true?
Well, superbugs have been documented well in the IV world in the hospital when we use antibiotics for too long a periods, or your body changes associated with that bacteria. Basically, a superbug gets used to it. It's a mutation that occurs in the cell. It gets used to the chemicals that we throw at it, and it's a survival mechanism for the bacteria. It is an animal. So basically, at this point, what the studies are showing is that getting rid of that bacteria may be harmful. And I think that you got to realize there's components of where we want to kill the bacteria, and we want to also suppress the bacteria. And there's certain elements of care for that, but most of that's in the IV and the oral agent. I'm not sure that the topical world of antibacterial has been well studied, and there is really not definitive answers for those things.
Okay, so talking about the topical world, talking about transferring germs between, how important is hand washing?
It is the #1 way to prevent infection transmission. Hospitals have put in a huge amount of evidence trials on hand hygiene, especially in the healthcare providers, obviously. Our surgeons are the best hand washers probably out there. They scrub into a sterile environment. So it's very important, obviously, to get that dirt off. We say, you know, in healthcare, the hands that heal can also kill if you don't wash them. So we have foaming in the room, foaming out of the room, using antiseptic materials, and the main issue is the mechanical rub. It's very important, and then you wash it away with the water. So soap and water in general is the key.
Then that's what I was going to ask you. I mean, our hands are pretty much the dirtiest part of our body.
Oh,
aren't
absolutely. And if you think about it, most people, you don't go up and touch them with your feet.
they? Right.
Or your
You hope
elbows.
not.
And, you know, I guess in intimate sessions, you may kiss them, but
Yeah.
that's relatively a dirty environment. So your hands are a gesture of handshaking.
So how do we keep them clean? What's the best way to wash our hands? Just for me, my kids?
Sure. So CDC and the World Health Organization have both put out studies showing the effectiveness of hand hygiene, especially in a healthcare environment because we have controlled environments. It is so important to get your hands wet and rubbing them. The mechanical function of the hand hygiene is the key. You break away the bacteria with the friction between the hands. I've gotten to a point where I don't shake patients' hands at some point because I'm afraid I'm going to give them something or I'm going to transmit something.
Right.
So the key is to wash your hands pre and post contact with folks as much as you can. And you know, I look at all the other worlds out there, the chef world, there's a lot of community-based purpose for this, and it's very, very important to use that mechanical scrub. The soap is just something to help it make it feel better and maybe get better coverage, and then the water obviously washes away the extra bacteria that you've washed off.
Sing happy birthday twice.
Absolutely. So the studies show a happy birthday twice to yourself is probably long enough. It's about 30 to 60 seconds, which people, I don't know if you've done that before. That's a long time. It's a
Thank
long
you
time.
so much. Don't shake his hand.
No.
Thank
Everybody
you
else
so
I shake his hand, I'm not going to shake your hand.
There you go. Thank you so much, Dr. Snyder. If you'd like to learn more about what we talked about today or about PRMC, go to our website, delmarvalife.com.
Okay, so from protecting your health to protecting your finances, were you one of the 40 million whose personal information was in jeopardy because of the recent security breach at Target? Up next, we're going to show you how to protect your information from identity thieves.
And later, we'll also show you how to protect some of your prized possessions. Maybe it's an expensive phone or tablet. See what cool gadgets are at the Consumer Electronics Show that can keep them safe and sound. Delmarva Life will be right back.